Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome to the instant reaction from a 2-0 defeat at St James's against Y Hodgson's Crystal Palace. Battle of the Dinosaurs. Bruceysaurus versus Y. Oh, frustrating game because I actually thought we played really well there. Like, disappointing not to get a point out of it. As Brucey said a couple of weeks ago, there's positives to be taken from it. I've seen enough to be optimistic when he was talking absolute waffle. But today, Pooley, it's different though, innit? Because I actually feel like we were the better team there. I think it's disappointing not to get at least a point out of that game. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll take all the positives I can. It's a fairly welcome feeling, to be honest. I know that we've lost, but especially in the first half, we played really good football. We attacked them. Sometimes we lacked a little bit of composure. We lacked a little bit of quality at times, but it's one of them. I said at the start of the stream, I'd rather get beat 4 or 5-0 and play like we did today or again, like we did at the weekend, than lose to a 1 or 2-0 and have 25% possession, for example. It's a tough one to take in the sense of we've played well, we've lost the game, but to be fair, I'm watching it there now. Their first goal, I think it takes a big deflection. Yeah. That sort of thing happens whether you're at the top of the league or you're at the bottom of the league. So, but I'm encouraged. I'm definitely encouraged.
I'm trying to pull the stats up now as you talk about possession. Obviously, under Steve Bruce's fucking shithouse mags, used to getting around about 35% possession at best. We don't hold up the ball, but I'm looking here and we actually got 60.8%. That must be the first time all season we've had more than 50. We had 21 shots, only 5 of them landed on target, whereas Crystal Palace had 6 and 3 on target. So you can maybe say that they were a little bit more clinical in front of goal, but in terms of possession and passing, touches, everything, we were certainly the better of the two teams. What's your instant thought, Rubenstein?
Yeah, it's the same as what you're both saying. I think the thing today was that we wanted to try and build on because as you say, the Graeme effect, the Everton game, came out of nowhere. We had been so bad for so long to suddenly come out and win a game 2-0. All I'm praying for is not necessarily a win, not necessarily a draw, but just to literally come out and actually try to continue something that was started. And that we did that. We played some really good football at times. We obviously still have areas we need to improve in, but I think the effort was there. As you say, the fact that we had 21 shots. We've had games this season when we've had 1 shot. It's almost, you wouldn't have believed they would have that many shots in a game a month ago. So I am disappointed. And I remember someone commented earlier in the live stream saying, we played better, but a loss is still a loss. So I agree with that. But you've got to also say that, we'll give it a good go, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we have got the positives to take out of it. On Saturday, we'll go up against a team that's just lost 9-0. They've lost 4 games in a row now, Southampton. They've had 2 men sent off. But the performances, I don't know if it's the Graeme Jones effect. You can take all the credits if you want. We'll come on to that in a second. But the chances that we had today, in the first half, Jeff Hendrick put one wide he should have done better with. Shaw headed one wide that he should have done better with. Wilson had a good few chances. Fraser had a good game. I don't think there's anyone that really particularly had a bad game today. I thought Lewis had another good game. Manquillo, Almiron. It was a very good performance. Is it the Graeme Jones effect, Pooley? Do you think we are starting to play this way, a bit more attacking, more possession because of him? There was a lot of comments in the live watch along. Where was he today? Because he wasn't on the sideline. He wasn't as active as he was on Saturday. Is that because Steve Bruce is feeling the pressure? Maybe Graham's getting a little bit too much praise, so he's trying to reel him in a little bit?
Yeah, possibly. It's a very big possibility, let's be honest. Steve, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, with regards to the press, he's been, he hasn't been great. He's pissed off a lot of fans, probably people within the club itself as well. The players, because let's be fair, the players will watch everything that's on Sky Sports. They will see every Twitter feed. They will see every Instagram story. Like, I think personally, Jones has came in. It's had an effect. But as I touched on throughout the stream, why does it take a coach to come in to have that effect when, you've got a squad of 25, 30 professional footballers who've been around the game for, probably on average 10 to 15 years? Like, why does it take an outsider to come in when they've been playing that poorly to sort of change things? Because all we've done really is we've pressed the ball a bit harder. And I mean, it's not quite as simple as that, but we've pressed the ball, which is something bog standard that I remember getting taught on a football pitch at 7-year-old. When you lose the ball, you try and win it back as fast as you possibly can. So it's one of them. And I think the press conference that Steve did yesterday or the day before, I think it was, where he gets asked by a member of the press, also, what do you think Graeme Jones come in? And he kind of looks down to the side and like rolls his eyes. I think that says it all. I think he's not on the touchline.
Yeah.
Probably to protect Jones a little bit as well. I'm not going to say that Steve has been that angry about it. He probably has been pissed off. But I think it's more the fact that we'll keep Jones out of the limelight. We'll see how we get on and what have you. But I put a lot of it down to Jones coming in.
Mm-hmm. Like, one similarity to Steve Bruce Rubenstein, I'll let you answer this one.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this being Graeme Jones's tactic, but we'll finish the game with 5 strikers. I can't remember what it was. Manquillo and Kieran Clark were the substitutes for Dwight Gale and Andy Carroll. Like, it looked like Ryan Fraser was playing at right back. Hayden had slid back into centre back. Like, what was the crack there? What was the shape? What was the thinking? That's just the old school Brucey thing, innit? Just lump strikers on, pump the ball up, and hope for the best.
Well, this is it. As I say, we're, you've just said it there. The big thing was that we're pressed better, we're played better, but there's still questions around what is the tactic at times, formation wise. I think we spoke about it a bit as well in the live stream about the fact that, Wilson's moving a little bit more to the right to try and change it up. It worked against Everton. I thought it looked all right at times today, but, when Wilson is having to track back on the right-hand side, that's not where you want your main man, your goal scorer. You want him stood on the penalty spot for the full 90 minutes. So formation-wise, that's still a question with me. And then, as you say, coming to the end of the game, I think he just had to. He was wanting to throw the kitchen sink at it, but and if it had worked, then I would have shut up and gone. It was a good job you did it. But having that many players on, I think there was a moment where, was it Saint-Max or Shelby got in the way of each other because we had that many players trying to stand in the same place. Of anything, I think that almost played into Crystal Palace's hands because they were on the back foot. They were holding deep. What they wanted us to do was lump the ball in so they could hoof it away. We played completely into that. We should have tried to play a wider, use the space to knit in, rather than just lumping it long. If anything, I think we possibly did ourselves a disservice by trying to bring on too many players at the end. Yeah.
Well, that's typical Steve Bruce, though, and he does that all the time. And we talk about the shape, and we've talked about Callum Wilson out on the right. Like that was getting to me on Saturday, but I couldn't complain about it. Because it was working well. He actually played really well with Miggy as like a false 9, Wilson out on the right, linking up quite well with Manquillo. But it just didn't sit right with me. Yes, we got a 2-0 win. Wilson got the 2 goals, so you kind of complain. But it's just not right, is it? Like Graeme Jones has come in. His first 2 games will have been better. I'd go as far as today to say what almost brilliant as well. Just the result just really doesn't show, unfortunately. Let's say if we got a point out of it, it would have been better, but there's still a lot to work on, with the likes of Jeff Hendrick, where does he fit in now with Joe Willock probably going to be available on Saturday. There's still a lot of work to do, whether it's Graeme Jones, whether it's Steve Bruce, whether it's them two working together to find a balance. There's still a lot of work to do going into Saturday and future games, because games like this are really what we should be getting 3 points out of. Like, these are our rivals. Like, they're only 4 points ahead of us in the league, 2 league positions. I don't know where that stands now. That was pre-game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work to do. And as I say, we've got Southampton on Saturday, where we've got a huge opportunity to try and get 3 points, because they're declining massively at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much for joining, lads. We'll end that there. Thank you very much to Pooley and Rubenstein for helping me out today in the absence of Big Renty with the live watch along and the instant reaction. But yeah, we'll be back on Saturday, where Renty should be joining again once he touches down in Dubai. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Rubenstein's as well. Links will be in the descriptions below. Thanks very much and enjoy yourself.
Cheers.